This afternoon, we're going to bring you the fourth of four quarterfinal games in Autumn Wind. We are wrapping up our 2018-2019 season, and today this game should be a barn burner. We have the two clubs who've scored more than any of the other any other club in the league. This is a 30-team league, and we have the two most prolific scoring clubs in the St. Louis Rams, coached by Gary Nagata, and Paul Mankiewicz, who is the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. Both of these clubs were divisional winners. Both of these clubs won 12 games, and both squads scored 458 points, which I believe was tops or near the tops in the league. Both of these are experienced coaches as well, and this one should be a quality game. So we're having a little bit of comments back and forth between the two clubs, and we should be getting ready here momentarily. Looking at the broadcast, and we have a couple people who are spectators here. You guys are more than welcome to turn on your mics and comment if you'd like. I'd rather this just be a fun broadcast than just a pure broadcast, but you're more than welcome to listen or chime in whenever you want to. It makes it fun when more people join. So feel free to jump in with anything you all have to say. All right, looks like they're going to get ready here. I'm going to put the card image open, and we'll get the so far today, and we will get started unless we just got blocked immediately. Let's see. Nope, okay. So we've got this new bug that's been affecting all of the broadcasts, basically, in which if the kickoff is not returned and sails 9 yards deep, we all have to restart. Stratomatic says they're going to fix it next year. I really wish they would fix it now because it really plagues these broadcasts. But the broadcasts are not what this is about. It's about the players, about the coaches. And we're going to do our best to bring this to everybody and save it so that if you don't get a chance to catch this live, it'll be on YouTube. You can watch it streaming live on YouTube, or you can join us here on the Google Hangouts broadcast. So here we go. The Los Angeles Chargers and St. Louis Rams, two 12-4 clubs in our Autumn Wind playoffs. The winner goes to the Final Four. And we'll take a look at who they're going to match up with here momentarily. Here's the first run. It's off tackle right to Le'Veon Bell. Defense guesses pass. And there's a short game pickup. Yes, I can hear. Who is this?
This is Dave Szymanski.
Well, Dave Szymanski makes an appearance. How nice to hear from you, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous.
Great. Are you enjoying it out of the country, right?
Yes, I'm in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
All right. Well, I'm sure that you saw the results of your initial game, and Philadelphia looked very solid in their first opening round contest, and you are headed to the Final Four. Will you be able to coach the next game, or are you going to let it ride?
I don't think I'll be able to. I'm going to be out here in Toronto for quite a while.
Uh-huh.
But it was great hearing you and Dennis and Tom to call that game. It really made it so. I'm feeling here to be able to connect to you guys here.
Okay. Hey, Dave, your mic is a little muffled. If you can speak up or maybe find another way to put your voice over.
Well, my wife has told me to keep my voice down. Because, it's 3 o'clock in the morning here.
Okay, I understand. All right. Well, the Chargers have made their way to midfield, have a couple of first downs on this drive. Actually, they're at their own 49. That is quarterback Phillip Rivers, the real-life San Diego Charger, under center, whose pass falls incomplete to tight end Delaney Walker. Now, second down and 10. So we're just a couple minutes deep here into this final quarterfinal game. It features 12-4 Los Angeles Chargers, coached by Paul Mankiewicz, facing off against Gary Nagata and the St. Louis Rams, who also finished 12-4. Both of these clubs, prolific scoring teams, 458 points on the year. nearly averaging 30 points each. There's a 12-yard run for Le'Veon Bell, and that is a first down. Defense gets pass on the play. Ball is now on the St. Louis Rams 39-yard line.
I can tell you, Michael, this rivalry goes back between Paul and Gary to 1978.
No kidding. Wow. Yeah, we've had you on broadcast before. You've talked about the history, very rich history of this league, probably one of the longest running football leagues in the country, if not the longest. There's a run for Le'Veon Bell. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Defense gets it. Well, I don't know if they guessed right or wrong. I saw one. It looks like he was running a two tight end set, so I guess it just guessed right. That's a loss of 1 on the play. Second down 11, ball at the 40. 11:42, just underway here in this quarterfinal game. Los Angeles Chargers, St. Louis Rams. Winner goes to the Final Four. We'll take a look at their opponent here momentarily. Here's a pass to Le'Veon Bell that is picked off. Defense double teams, and the St. Louis Rams have their first break of the game with that turnover. And Nagata and his Rams will take over at their own 36. So nice call by Nagata, and he will take over. He has Ben Roethlisberger under center, and that is Mark Ingram in the eye. Here's a screen pass to Ingram. It is caught. It's a modest pickup of 4 yards on the play. And it's now second down and 6.
By the way, Michael, the league was started by Jim Riley, and soon after, Paul Mankiewicz and Rick Byland were the first two to join after Jim Riley.
Boy, there's just a lot of history in this game. There's a lot of people who've been playing this game for a long, long time. Stratomatic should be very proud. They're great ambassadors of the game. St. Louis has rambled all the way down to the Chargers 24. So it's now 1st and 10. And there's a pass to Richardson, and he's going to go into the end zone for a score. So we have our first score very quickly in this game. The St. Louis Rams, off of that turnover from the Chargers, have turned it into 6 and are looking to tack on an extra point. And they do so. So St. Louis will strike first blood, but again, both of these clubs averaging close to 28, 29 points a game, so there'll be plenty more opportunities for each of these clubs to put points on the board. That's a nice return. It goes out to the 31-yard line. I was looking at the schedules for both of these two clubs, and it appears that they did play once. The Los Angeles Chargers did play the St. Louis Rams in, week 12. No, week 11. And the Chargers lost. It was a game on the road in St. Louis, but it was a close one, 30-23. Here's a slant pass to tight end Clay, and he is sacked on the play. So that was Rivers, who takes a loss of 8 on the play. And it's now second down and 18.
I think Clay is their favorite target of Paul.
Say that again, please.
I think Clay is a favorite target of Paul.
I see. So he seemed early on, we've seen a lot of this 2 tight end sets. So that's probably what we're going to see throughout this game. That's Clay and also Delaney Walker. That's 2 pretty solid tight ends.
Yeah,
Off tackle draw.
Tight end.
There you go. That's a pickup of 5 on the play, but it's a 3rd and 13 for the Chargers, who already trail 7-0. Played just over 6 minutes in this first quarter. looking for Crabtree, and that pass falls incomplete. And so the Chargers are going to have to turn this ball back over again to St. Louis, who already is leading 7-0. Rams scored on their opening drive after intercepting Rivers at the Rams 40, and they took it down the length of the field for the game's first score. So the Rams again will take over. That's Roethlisberger under center, Ingram in the backfield. Wideouts Pierre Garçon and Paul Richardson, who has the first touchdown reception of the game. Here's a quick out to tight end Nick O'Leary, and that's a 5-yard pickup. For the Rams, it's now 2nd down and 5. So the winner of this contest is going to take on the Houston Texans, who defeated the Seattle Seahawks, the 2-time defending Autumn Wind champions. Here's an off-tackle run right. Defense guesses pass. Here's Ingram, and he picks up 4 on the play, setting up a 3rd and 1. So the winner will take on the Houston Texans, and the other game is already set. One of our coaches is actually with us in this broadcast. That's Dave Szymanski, and his Philadelphia Eagles, the number 1 seed in the AFC, will be taking on Mark LePage and his Dallas Cowboys, who are the 3 seed. The Houston Texans are the 4 seed, still alive. This is a battle between the number 2 and number 3 seeds. Both number 1 seeds have been, well, the number 1 seed in the NFC has been eliminated. That's a 3rd down pass, and that's a pickup of 7 yards on the play, and it's now 1st down for the Rams at their own 42. That was a completed pass from Roethlisberger to Pierre Garçon, a flat pass. So the Rams move the chains again. There's a run, only a pickup of 1 for Ingram. It's now 2nd down and 9 with the ball at the 43. Just over 5 to play here in the first quarter. Rams 7, Chargers nothing. The winner will be matching wits against Nathan Baylor with the Houston Texans.
If there's the 2 opposing teams that were eliminated, the Seahawks. It's kind of interesting to have this really 2 powerhouse teams out of the playoffs. It certainly helps my Eagles a little bit.
Yeah, Nathan called a great game against Seattle. Dennis was very complimentary. He did a fine job. So now that's a 2-yard loss on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 13.
You're correct, Michael. Nathan did a fabulous job, and Dennis was complimentary. That was a great game you guys called.
It was. I thought that I know Philadelphia romped, at least it looked like on the scoreboard, but Southern California kept it close. He just kept coaching, caused all sorts of nice breaks and really made it a game. There's a 3rd down conversion on a pass that is on Ben Roethlisberger's card. That's a pickup of 16 on the play. And another 1st down for St. Louis. So that's a nice conversion there. They're already up by 7. That was a pass to Ingram. And there's a pass across the middle for 10 and another 1st down. That pass.
A 54-yard run from Drake and a 69-yard bomb to Diggs and an 87-yard interception return.
Yeah. Some nice breaks, exactly. And let's be honest, that's what that club needed. That was an interesting club, actually. There's a pass to and that's completed. It's a pass to look like Pierre Garçon.
Roethlisberger's hot.
Yes, he is. So the Rams, once again, striking with big plays. Both of their receivers have had long gains. And with the ball at the 4, we now see a full house backfield that includes Ingram and Malcolm Brown, who has a great low usage card. Let's see if he goes to him. Here's a pass to O'Leary. Defense guesses run, but it falls incomplete on Roethlisberger's card. Talk about dancing between the raindrops there. Plenty of completions. He just happened to find the blank. So now it's 2nd down and 4. 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. The Rams, a home club today, up 7-0, looking to go up 2 scores against the Chargers. Both of these clubs 12-4. The winner will face off against Nathan Baylor. They will host that game next week against the Houston Texans. Again, the other game is already set. There's a pass across the middle, and that one falls incomplete. That was on the defense's card this time, so it's now 3rd down and 4. Like I said, the AFC game already is set. That's Mark LePage against Dave Szymanski, Cowboys 3 seed, traveling to Philadelphia. We are rounding out our Final Four here in Autumn Wind, a 30-team Stratomatic football league that has very deep roots that go back to the card and dice game. Here we are, 3rd and 4. Now he switches to an I formation here. Again, that's still Ingram in the backfield. Got a strong blocking back in Ricard. Here comes that off-tackle run, but it's guessed right. Nice call by Mankiewicz, and he's going to force a field goal here. So Mankiewicz dodges a bullet. Will hold St. Louis to 3 as that kick goes up and through. And it's now 10-0 St. Louis. So the Rams early on looking sharp offensively. And that is going to be a game freeze, so we'll have to jump out and jump back in.
That was a good hold by Paul, though.
Yes, it was. That could have been. It could certainly pay dividends later on.
Paul's a real strong defensive coach and not afraid to make bold calls at critical times.
Okay, well, we did not miss a play there. So 1st and 10, ball at the 25. And there is a run for Le'Veon Bell, and he picks up big yardage on the play. That's a gain of 19. Defense guesses pass. He hits the short gain. Big one of 19 yards. It's now 1st and 10, ball at the 44. Off tackle right, defense guesses pass. Le'Veon Bell, another 9-yard gain. Bell so far, 8 carries for 68 yards. We're getting down to the final seconds here in the first quarter. The Chargers trail 10-0, but on the move. They've crossed over into St. Louis territory, ball at the 47. This is their second trip into Rams territory. Their first resulted in an interception. The Rams drove and scored the game's first touchdown. And there's a run that actually loses a yard, and that is Sanjay Perrine, Redskins' real-life running back who was injured this year and probably won't be carded next year, which set up for Adrian Peterson's outstanding season. It's now 3rd and 2 with the ball at the 48 as we have now entered into the second quarter. Chargers trailing 10-0 to the St. Louis Rams. And there's a pickup of 6 on the pass from Rivers to Allen, and it's 1st down for the Chargers at the 42. Rams flood the flats here on this screen pass to Le'Veon Bell, who picks it but fumbles it, and they're waiting for the recovery. And the Chargers will recover. So that's an 8-yard pass play to Le'Veon Bell, who fumbles the ball, but somebody picked it up, maybe him, somebody else on his club. Regardless, the Chargers were able to make that recovery, and the drive will continue. That would have been a real crusher there. Already trailing by 10. They've already turned the ball over once that led to a score. Here's an inside run for Le'Veon Bell. Defense guesses pass. He only picks up 2 in the play, but that's enough to move the chains. A 1st down at the 32. Just a couple minutes into the second quarter here. The Chargers trailing 10-0 to the St. Louis Rams. The winner advances to the Final Four in Autumn Wind and will take on Nathan Baylor and his Houston Texans, who sprung the upset against the Seattle Seahawks, the two-time defending champion Seattle Seahawks. Dallas and Philadelphia slated for the other matchup. There's a 2-yard run for Le'Veon Bell. 10 carries already, and we're just 3 minutes here into the second quarter. Here is a slant pass to Delaney Walker that falls incomplete. That was on Phillip Rivers' card. And it's now third down and 8. Ball at the 30, so they are in field goal range. Trailing 10-0. Gary Nagata and his St. Louis Rams looking to advance to the Final Four. 3-wide set for the Chargers. And the Rams counter with a 3-2-6. Keenan Allen covered by a 4. Let's see if he targets him. Got a couple of 6s on the field defending Crabtree. Here's an inside run. Defense guesses pass. Oh, no, was that a button hook? That may have actually been a pass. And it was. It was a button hook pass. Completed to Le'Veon Bell. No man in the zone. And that's a pickup of 13. Dave, I didn't happen to catch if he moved a linebacker there to the middle or not. I see a white dice 6.
Yes, he did.
He did move somebody there. So you got a white dice 6 reading. Okay. All righty.
I was interested when they played the 3-2-6 to see if you do cover that inside slot.
Right.
A lot of guys like to slip a 5 or 6 in there and kind of beats the guy into throwing a look in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes they move the pieces here, but then the ball is snapped and I don't get a chance to catch where all these players moved. But anyway, second down and 10, ball at the Rams 17. So the Chargers looking good on this drive as they were able to make another big conversion.
You're doing a fine job, Mike. I don't care what management says.
Fire me. There's a couple of other broadcasters.
They're keeping the job.
Hey, we just have fun. Just have fun.
I know you do. It's great having you do this, Michael.
Well, I appreciate you joining. I was wondering if we were going to get a chance to broadcast Dana together. That's really cool. I'm really glad that you're doing well down there, too. I'm sure that you're really happy to see your club win big. So, by proxy. Third down and 6 with the ball at the Rams 13. Again, 3-wide set, defense counters. This time 3-3-5. He's going to look for Marquise Goodwin. And that pass is going to be caught. And now the Chargers are on the board. The real-life Phillip Rivers, Los Angeles Charger in real life and in make-believe. Completes the pass to Marquise Goodwin. And that is good for the first score for the Chargers, who tack on an extra point. And that gives them the lead. They are still trailing. Golly. They're still trailing 10-7 here to the Rams, but they are on the board. They've cut this deficit. So the bug apparently does not affect things when it's just a regular touchback, so that's nice. Crazy bug.
It's really great, Michael, to have such a outstanding coach. Rick Barnes and a longtime friend handle my club, because obviously it's disappointing. I can't use my team in the playoffs after a 14-2 season.
Yeah, Tom and I were Dennis started with the broadcast on that game, and then Tom took the second half basically, and I just went along for the ride. He did a nice job. But
I cracked up at Tom's joke.
It was a fun game to watch because, again, you knew that the Sun were going to need some breaks, and it's one of those that this could very easily have been a blowout. And just, basically going through the motions to try to complete it. But the next thing you know, there's that long pass to Diggs. There's the interception return for a touchdown. Just caught some nice breaks. So it made the game more interesting. It would have been a huge upset, obviously, but it made the game a lot more interesting. There's a pickup of 6 on the play. So Nagata, 3rd and 6. This would be a nice stop for Mankiewicz. Let's see if he can come up with something here. 3 wide set. As we see Geronimo Allison come to the field, and that pass is incomplete. A pretty strong interception chance there, 2 through 6, 11, and 12. And Nevada will turn this ball back over to the Chargers. So now it looks like the momentum is switching back over to Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this can be kind of a confusing game here as we have the St. Louis Rams, not the Los Angeles Rams, hosting not the Rams, but the Los Angeles Chargers. So I'll probably have to be a little bit more specific about my call here. But anyway, the Chargers will take over with their ball at the 26, trailing 10-7. So Mankiewicz and his Chargers trailing 10-0, just put some points on the board. And now they're looking to tie it up or take the lead on this drive. Here's another pass to Goodwin, but it falls incomplete. Goodwin on a touchdown pass a moment ago from Rivers, a 13-yard toss. That gives us the score we have now, which is 10-7. 8:24 to go here in the second quarter. The winner will take on the Houston Texans in the Autumn Wind Final Four. In the other conference, we have the Dallas Cowboys facing off against the number 1 seed Philadelphia Eagles. Here is a bomb to Keenan Allen, and that pass falls incomplete. So it's 3rd down. Defense was double teaming Keenan Allen on that play. So a nice call. He is being defended by a 4. When the Chargers go with a 3 wide set, that brings on a corner 6.
Yeah, those small corners now that have great ratings. It's an interesting dynamic of the game.
Mm-hmm. And there's a nice conversion on 3rd down. That's a pickup of 16 on the play, 4 men in the zone. The pass was caught by Keenan Allen, and that is a 1st down for the Chargers, who continue to move. Ball at their own 42. We're halfway here in the second quarter. Chargers trailing the Rams 10-7. Rivers so far 5 of 12 for 56 yards, a touchdown, and an interception that led to the Rams' first score. Here's a crossing pattern to Keenan Allen. He is not double teamed on the play, but the pass falls incomplete. That was on Keenan Allen's card. So it's now 2nd down and 10. Two tight end set, Le'Veon Bell in the backfield. Le'Veon already with over 10 carries here in this first half. Oh, okay. I saw a message between the two, and I was wondering if the game froze. And it did not. Just want to make sure the broadcast was still working, and it is.
See the minefields of interceptions here, too.
Mm-hmm. Back to the two tight end set for the Chargers. Ball at their own 42. It's 2nd down and 10. That's Le'Veon Bell in the backfield. Rivers under center. Clay and Walker are your tight ends. That's Marquise Goodwin with Keenan Allen. Here's a slant pass to Delaney Walker. He picks up 12 on the play. And that's another first down for the Chargers. Walker was hurt very early in the real life 2018 campaign.
That's a big loss for Paul.
What's that?
That's a big loss for Paul. He likes Walker.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I don't know that he had enough catches to even qualify for a card. There is a run for Le'Veon Bell, his 12th carry of the game. Already 98 yards for Le'Veon Bell. Guess wrong, he picks up 22 on the play. Back to the standard two tight end set. A regular 3-4 for the Rams. And that is a loss of 4 on the play. It is. So 2 consecutive plays, 2 consecutive losses. It's now 3rd and 14 as the Chargers have probably been pushed out of field goal range here now with the ball at the 38. So this is a tough conversion. Does Paul just go for a run here, try to get some yards and have a shot at tying it up?
I think it goes a dump pass.
All righty, let's see what he does here. So 3rd down. That's Morgan there at fullback, or blocking back, I guess. 3-3-5. Nagata counters. Yeah, I was looking. Walker only had 4 catches for 52, so he's going to need to find a replacement. So there is that screen pass. He does pick up 6 yards, so it moves it close enough into field goal range.
Yep.
Yeah, ball at the 22. I had misread that. I thought that was a 38. 22, that's a 39-yard field goal, and that is very makeable, and they do. So they have converted, and they have come all the way back from 10-0 and now have tied it up at 10 apiece. And the Rams will return this kick out to the 32. Ball was kicked to the goal line. The Rams will have the ball in the 3rd quarter, to begin the 3rd quarter. So they'd like to put some points on the board and play from ahead as opposed to behind here instead of tied. They've got one more shot to score here before the half. And they're going to have a big play on the first snap. That's a pitch out. And Mark Ingram, who has a very solid card when guessed wrong, it's a 51-yard chunk play. And it's completely flipped the field now. The Chargers will have to defend from their own 17. So a 51-yard run for Ingram. And there goes a 6-yard run right after that. Ingram only has 7 carries so far, 66 yards. 2nd down and 4, ball at the 11. Staying with that I formation. Most teams in the modern NFL don't go with this fullback, but he's been on the field a lot. Strong blocking back. And there is a play that's going to go out of bounds. That is a pickup of that was Picard. How about that? We were joking about him, actually, Patrick Picard. Caught a bad break there because his longest pass reception should have pushed him into the end zone, but instead, I believe that was only a 6-yard gain. Not sure exactly where that line of scrimmage was, but yes, it was only a 6-yard gain. He got a short gain pass, but it wound up being only a 6-yard gain because that was his max gain.
Least I've ever seen.
Picard did not make it so. Is that what we're saying? So now that's a run, but the dreaded 5. No gain on the play for Ingram. It's now 2nd down at the 5. One thing this is doing, at least, is chewing some clock. It's now down to 2:06. Ideally, with St. Louis, would like to put some points on the board and keep the Chargers from having a lot of time on the clock to respond. However, you have to think that Paul's got those timeouts in his pocket, and he probably will use them if they don't convert here. Of course, they got the 2-minute warning coming up, so maybe this isn't all going to matter. Anyway, 2nd down, ball at the 5. Staying with that I formation. It's Nick O'Leary at tight end. He's being guarded by a 5. You've got Garcon over there guarded by a 4. So that's a possible short pass target.
The dreaded 5.
The dreaded 5 indeed. I'm going to change my YouTube channel to the dreaded 5.
In honor of Tom.
There's an off-tackle run, but a nice stop for the Chargers, and that will take us to a 2-minute warning. So Ingram with a chunk play, 51-yard run, taking the ball all the way down to the 17, but the drive is stalling at this point. It's now 3rd down and goal, ball at the 6. Chargers would love nothing more to hold this club to 3. Well, maybe a missed field goal, but let's be realistic here. If he could hold them to 3, I think Paul would be thrilled, certainly. Defense counters 4-2-5 on this 3-wide set. Two minutes to go here in the first quarter. All knotted at 10. The Rams and the Chargers. The winner will take on the Houston Texans in the Autumn Wind Final Four NFC Conference Championship. Curl pass to Richardson, and timely sack and a fumble. And who's got this recovery? Waiting. Oh, and the Chargers come up with the recovery. So, and we missed some animation there. What exactly happened there? That's odd. Anyway, the Chargers recover. Let's see. Maybe there was a return.
Yeah, the animation crapped out on it.
Yeah, that's there must have been a recovery and a return on that play. Anyway, Roethlisberger fumbles.
It's not good for Gary, though, that's for sure.
Right. So, as we were mentioning, the Chargers would have been happy to hold them to 3. So that's far exceeding the expectations that Paul ever could have had on that drive. So, a 51-yard Mark Ingram run. It takes the ball all the way down to the 17 of the Chargers, basically is wasted as Roethlisberger loses on the sack fumble, and the Chargers have taken over at their own 31. We are tied at 10.
Chargers averted an interception number there, too.
Yep, he just about did. He already has, that's a turnover apiece for both of these clubs now. The first turnover of the game, an interception from Phil Rivers, led to a score from St. Louis. And now the Chargers are trying to capitalize on this turnover. Here's a pitch out to Le'Veon Bell. Defense gets his pass. He's able to pick up 6 on the play and get out of bounds. So it's 3rd and 4 at their own 37. Minute 37, the clock is stopped. So Le'Veon Bell with that carry already has eclipsed 100 yards on 15 carries. So third down and 4, ball on the 37. 2 tight end set, which is pretty much what we've seen throughout. Here's a bomb to Keenan Allen. Defense guesses. And that pass is going to be caught, and it's going to be a big gain. Big gain of 30 yards. So on third and 4, Rivers goes over the top to his real-life receiving mate, Keenan Allen, the prolific receiver for the Los Angeles Chargers, and the two combined for a 30-yard pickup. And the ball is now on the St. Louis 33-yard line. Chargers have 2 of their timeouts remaining with 1:30 on the clock. Defense here is in 3-3-5. Here's an inside run for Bell. He picks up 4 on the play. It's now 2nd down and 6.
Field goal range.
Yep, they have now made it their way into field goal range. Got a few people listening to the broadcast live. I just saw another spectator join here just a moment ago. 2nd down and 6. Ball to 29, 1:22 to go. Chargers called timeout on that after that Le'Veon Bell 4-yard run. Here's a run for, a pass to Pirine, and that picks up 6, and he's able to get out of bounds. So it's 1st and 10, ball at the 23. I had Pirine in that Strat 28 league. He has a very useful card, actually. I got well over 1,000 yards with him this year. He's got a couple of short gains, guessed wrong, off tackle. He's only had 1 carry so far, but that's his first catch as well. Le'Veon already has 12 carries, and that is Pirine is actually back in the game again. He won't be carded for the Redskins this year, so this is a one-and-done card. Pass to Goodwin. He's double-teamed by the defense, but he's able to make the catch. It's on his card. So it's now 3rd and 2 with the ball at the 15. The Chargers deciding whether or not to call timeout on this play.
They can pretty much bleed away the rest of the half right now. So
yes.
Timeout in his pocket.
He does. He kept it. You're right. He kept it in his pocket. It's going to save it here for the result of this play, which is 3rd and 2. He can do just about anything on this play. Flat pass is in play because the ball is at the 15. So there's a variety of things he can do. Dave, what call do you think he's going to make?
Good one. I think he's going to run the ball.
I think so too. I think an off-tackle run, and he is, and that's what the Rams anticipated. And the dreaded 5, it wouldn't have mattered either way. But he loses 2 on the play. Now will St. Louis call timeout. They do have all 3 remaining. I imagine he'll call timeout here. Let's see. And he does. Oh, wait. Who called? Oh, I misread the downs. I thought it was 3rd down and 2. Did I really read that wrong? So the Chargers are the ones who called the timeout. I was for sure that was 3rd down and 2. My fault, everybody. So 3rd down and 4. So the Chargers did call timeout there. Here's the slant pass to Clay, and the pass falls incomplete, and so they will have to settle for a field goal attempt. This is going to be a 34-yard field goal. And it is good. So the Chargers will take the lead 13-10. That ball sails into the end zone, and for whatever reason, we, again, don't seem to have a freeze. And that one was, let's see, 8 yards deep. Maybe it's the 9-yard deep kick that seems to be kicking everybody out, because that was a touchback as well. We've already had a touchback on the card. That didn't turn out to freeze the game. So if Stratomatic can go in and change everybody's 9-yard touchback to 8, we wouldn't have this problem. That's not going to happen. They are all about baseball right now. They've forgotten about those poor football fans. 3 wide set for St. Louis. They have all 3 timeouts remaining, 30 seconds on the clock, and there is a sack. It's a loss of 8 on the play. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think he calls timeout here. Chargers can't stop the clock either. So with the ball at the 17, will the Rams just play conservative, knowing full well that they're going to get the ball here at the end of the half? Well, how about that? They're going to call timeout. They're going to take a couple more shots down the field. I guess he thinks the Chargers aren't going to have the ball back with any time on the clock if they just throw 3 of them to the turf and then punt it. So he thinks, why not? Got to hope, though, for the ball to hit the turf or his own receiver's hands. He certainly doesn't want an interception here. But again, even if he did pick it off, it wouldn't leave the Chargers much time.
A lot of times guys go with a straight pass here thinking that they're going to protect the ball.
Mm-hmm. An off-tackle run. It picks up nice yardage. Of course, there is that. I mean, obviously, guess wrong. Ingram can be a weapon that can be just as effective as your quarterback throwing downfield. They'll call timeout here again. That puts the ball at the 42. So with a timeout left, he's got time enough basically for 2 plays. If one of them gets out of bounds, he'll have a chance at a third.
Yeah, Ingram does have some big chunks there.
Oh, boy, look at that card. 50-yard pickup, long gain, 25-yard pickup. And there is another sack. That's the 4th, I believe, for the Chargers. So Nagata will be forced. Yeah. Now we'll see if Nagata thinks about this one here. If he calls timeout, that'll make 8 seconds. That'll leave 8 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, Paul builds his teams around usually a good pass rush.
Mm-hmm. So 8 seconds to go here in the second quarter. The Rams trailing 13-10 to the Los Angeles Chargers. Gary Nagata and his Rams facing off against Paul Mankiewicz and his Chargers. The winner of this contest is going to go off to the Final Four in Autumn Wind to face Nathan Baylor and his Houston Texans. Here's a bomb to Geronimo Allison, and there is another sack. That is I believe, the 5th of the half. We'll take a look at the stats here in just a moment. And that will end it. So we will go to halftime. Let's see if the 2 clubs talk a little bit before or need a little break. Maybe we can take a look at some stats. Let's see if either team is going to need a break. If so, we'll take a look at the box score. If not, we'll head straight into it. I think we're going to go straight away into it. So it's been a tale of two quarters. The St. Louis Rams dominated the first quarter. They drew first blood on a Paul Richardson touchdown reception. This was coming off the heels of a interception by Phillip Rivers. And the Rams drove around 60 yards or so for that first score, and they tacked on a field goal. The Chargers, though, in the second quarter, reeled off 13 unanswered points. The big break came with just a couple of minutes to go before the half, in which the Rams drove to the Chargers' 6-yard line, but then a sack fumble took place. The Chargers capitalized, scored 3, and that's where we find ourselves at 13-10. So the game is frozen. We're going to jump back into it here momentarily. So we missed one play there. St. Louis with the ball, 2nd down and 10 at their own 25, trailing 13-10 to the Los Angeles Chargers. The winner goes on to the Autumn Wind Final Four to take on Houston. Here's an off-tackle run for Malcolm Brown that only picks up a yard. Brown, a good limited carries running back. He only picks up 1 on the play. It's now 3rd and 9. Allyson comes back on the field for the Rams as they go 3 wide. Roethlisberger in the backfield. Ingram, shotgun right there with them on the right. Defense counters 3-3-5. Here's a pass to O'Leary, and he's double teamed. So nice call by Paul. It was double teamed by a linebacker, so when it was on the receiver card, basically it's just guessed right. But that's going to force a 3 and out for the Rams. That punt sails out of bounds at the 36. Both of these two clubs won 12 games this year. Both of these clubs scored 458 points, which was tops in the league. While the Rams jumped out to an early 10-0 lead, the Chargers have scored the last 13. So it's not quite been a track meet. But it's been a good game so far. Both teams have had to put up with some big-time turnovers that have impacted the game. Pickup of 3 on the play for Le'Veon Bell, who already has more than 100 yards, 107 to be exact, on 17 carries.
I don't think he'll get much out of him next year.
Oh, gosh, no. Yeah, there's going to be some holes on this club, that's for sure.
You're talking too loud.
Sorry about that. All right, so here's a pitch play, but no gain. So defense calls pass, but Pirine does not pick up anything on that play. It's now 3rd down and 7. Pirine is better inside the tackles. Even guessed wrong, you can see on that card, it's not very effective. Here's a curl pass to Marquise Goodwin. The defense is double teaming. Pass ball's incomplete. Defense was double teaming elsewhere. 3rd down not converted, so both teams are 3 and out, and the Rams will get the ball back here after this punt.
I'm falling down the back of this bed.
And so the Rams will take over at their own 16. So both clubs have exchanged 3 and outs. The Rams will now take over, trailing 13-10 in the last of our 4 Autumn Wind quarterfinal games. And there's a run for Ingram, and he loses 3 on the play. A linebacker was in the zone. So it's now 2nd down and 13. So again, the winner of this game is going to face off against the Houston Texans, who defeated the 2-time defending champion Seattle Seahawks. In the AFC, we have the Philadelphia Eagles, who got by a very game Southern California Sun club, and the Dallas Cowboys, who sprung the upset on the road against Grand Rapids. So we have Mark LePage taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, who will have a substitute coach. And who is that one again?
Legendary Rick Byrons.
That would be the one. And then we got Nathan Baylor squaring off against either Gary Nagata or Paul Mankiewicz. And we were talking about Strat royalty when we're talking about these two coaches. Been doing a long time.
You bet.
You bet. You don't get this far by accident, that's for sure. So 3rd down and 5, defense in the 3-3-5. There is a flat pass with a man in zone, loss of 2. Pickup of 2. Not enough for the first down, so another 3 and out. So the defenses have come to play here in the second half. Neither club has been able to muster a first down. There's a fair catch for Jamal Agnew. Has a very dangerous return card. You see that touchdown on 3. It's not come into play. No impact yet. So the Chargers will take over, up 13-10 over the St. Louis Rams. 1st and 10, ball at the 34. We played just a little bit over 5 minutes here in the second half of this Autumn Wind 2018-2019 quarterfinal. Here's a quick
30-team league.
Yes. Oh.
In a 30-team league, it's really impressive to see how well some of these teams are built in the playoffs, because put together rosters like these, but you can see by the quality of the players on the field that these teams that are in the playoffs have all done a fine job of general managing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that Rivers was acquired in a trade before the season. Am I right?
I'm not sure. I thought Paul had him a while, but I can't. I'm not sure.
I know there was a big quarterback who was dangled before the draft, and I was wondering if maybe that was him, but I may be wrong.
He did trade for Rivers.
Okay.
He traded from Detroit.
And Detroit picked up Deshaun Watson?
Probably one of the two. I'm not sure.
Yeah. And there's a deep shot completed for 50 yards to Keenan Allen, and the Chargers have flipped the field as they now have the ball, 1st and goal to go on the 8. So that's Keenan Allen's second big reception of the game, 4 catches for 102 yards. Okay, 1st down and goal to go here for the Chargers, already up 13-10. Now the Rams find themselves on the ropes. Defense guesses run and a huge loss of 7 on the play on the toss sweep. So nice call by Nagata. Loss of 7, and now it's 2nd down and goal to go from the 16. So the Rams have driven deep into Chargers territory, kind of similar to this. And on two occasions, basically, the first time the Rams were able to kick a field goal, the Chargers were able to hold serve. And on the second, they forced a turnover. So now the Rams find themselves in that same corner, hoping to hold the Chargers to 3. Second down, 2 tight end set again, 3-4 defense for St. Louis. Paul Mankiewicz looking to make another appearance in the Final Four for Autumn Wind. Here's a curl pass to Marquise Goodwin. It is caught. It's a pickup of 12 on the play. So now it is 3rd and goal from the 3. Goodwin, 3 catches for 33 yards. Rivers is now 13 of 24 for just under 200.
Full house. Is he going to run or pass, Michael?
It's gosh, Rivers guessed wrong. I don't know. I'm looking at their defensive strength here. I'm guessing he's going to call a run. What do you think?
I'm going to guess a pass, but you're right.
So there's your off-tackle run to Pirine, and he is stopped 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage with his 2 linebackers in the zone. And the kick is good. So St. Louis breathes a sigh of relief as they're still only trailing by 1 score. Now it's 16-10 with 5:42 to play here in the third quarter. The Rams have to feel pretty good about themselves. That could have gone completely in another direction as they have not been able to put any points on the board since the first quarter. It's been all Chargers, 16 straight. But with an offense like this, they're never out of it. There's a 2-yard reception to Ingram. Difficult to navigate things there on that flat pass card. Not a lot of yards to be had. Even though he's got 4s in both of those zones. I could see why you want to pick on him, but again, you got to hit on that 7 to really make any noise. Second down and 8 to go. Just over 5 to play here in the third quarter. Rams trailing 16-10. And there's another flat pass. White dice 6, but he doesn't catch the benefit as it's on the running back's card, the receiver's called Paul Richardson, who I guess he doesn't have a very good flat pass card, even guessed right, winds up with a blank. So again, it's 3rd and 8. St. Louis just has not been able to muster very much offense here since the first quarter, especially since that first drive. Ever since then, it's kind of gone a little haywire here. St. Louis really needs to get some momentum. This would be a nice conversion, be a good start. You've got 4s guarding the outside receivers in this 3-3-5 set. A slant pass to O'Leary and another sack. So the Chargers have been dialing it up on defense. It's only a 2-yard sack, but they're able to get them off the field for their 3rd 3-and-out of the second half. There's a punt that is not returned. Will be taken over at the 32-yard line. I wanted to take a look at the box score. 5 sacks. There is a button hook to Le'Veon Bell. Modest pickup, 6 yards on the play, 2nd down and 4. Chargers up 16-10. over 3.5 to go here in the third quarter.
Is Nathan still with us, Michael?
I'm here.
Good.
Pickup of 8 on the play. And a first down.
I got a feeling, Nathan, you'd be gaffing a bomb here at this late stage at some point.
I haven't watched the whole game. Has Paul just been blitzing a lot?
Yeah, quite a bit.
And there's your white dice 6, pickup of 20 on the play. And another first down. That pass caught by Pirine. 2 catches now for 26 yards for the Washington Redskin in real life. And the Chargers are very much close to, or getting very close to, another field goal. And if they do, they're in field goal range at the very least. That would put them up by 2 scores. So St. Louis has to buckle down here. Find a way to get this club off the field. There's a quick out. Defense guesses run. That is a pickup of 6 yards. And Rivers, after a slow start, has really picked it up now. 16 of 27, 221 yards. And as Tom Cook had said, that's good numbers for a league that doesn't have the dump-off rule.
Yeah, Tom always slips that comment in there.
And I never looked at it that way, but it is rightly so. He makes a very good point. That was Clay's first catch, tight end. There's a pass that goes to the other tight end, Delaney Walker, but he fumbles the ball. Let's see who comes up with the recovery. And this time St. Louis catches the break. So Bell, who initially had a fumble this deep into – okay, we missed something here. What, did he take it back for a score? Because through the miracle of science, somehow they've made their way to the other end, and it looks like this is going to be a touchdown. Maybe it'll be reflected on the box score. It must have been a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Thanks a lot, Stratomatic. There you go.
Yeah,
all
click
right.
on the box score, see what happened.
There.
That had to be it. Or maybe we'll never know, right?
Hell.
Record it there in the box.
Well, good to know. Okay, so magically, and we also missed the kickoff, but at least it didn't freeze. Maybe it'll refresh here. We'll take a look at the box score here in a second. But, well, that's frustrating. But no more frustrated than Paul Mankiewicz, who was basically driving for a score and now is trailing by 1. 17-16. I think some spectators were kicked off. Somehow we were not kicked off, even though that kick went 9 yards deep. And there's a pass for 7 yards for Rivers. The box score one more time and see if maybe it fixed itself. Nope. We'll never know how that score happened until we talk to somebody after the game.
Call up Quazzo.
Oh, man, that is so – that's just really bad. Really bad. There's a pass that falls incomplete. So anyway, Delaney Walker caught a pass inside of the 20 that he coughed up, and apparently St. Louis recovered and went the other way for a score, although it's not reflected in the box score. We have to assume that's what it was. We lost animation. Next thing we knew, St. Louis was lining up for an extra point. So now the Chargers, who had led all the way from the second quarter, now trails by 1, 17-16. Dave, I don't know if you saw this, but I was calling that first game, or a game with Dallas and Grand Rapids. We'll get to it after this.
I watched the replay. I know exactly what happened. You were very tactful, Michael.
Another deep shot. That's the third deep pass caught by Keenan Allen. 5 catches for 135 yards as Rivers is closing in on 300 yards. That's 274 yards passing for Rivers. As we have come to the close of the third quarter, the Chargers are trailing by 1, 17-16. Gary Nagata, head coach of the Rams, against Paul Mankiewicz here for the Chargers. That pass falls incomplete. Defense double teams correctly, as that was headed also for Keenan Allen. Pass falls to the turf. So second down and 10. The last time the Chargers were in this part of the field, Delaney Walker coughed up a pass reception. St. Louis raced the other way, apparently, for a score that has now given the Rams their first lead since the first quarter that they now carry here into the fourth. But the Chargers, once again, are threatening to enter field goal range. They're already about a 52-yard field goal away. Second down and 10. A couple seconds in to the fourth quarter. The winner will head off to face Nathan Baylor. There's another pass headed to Keenan Allen once again. Defense double teams on 2 consecutive plays. Nice call by Nagata. Third down and 10. So for those of you who didn't see it, Dallas playing against Grand Rapids, tied less than 2 minutes to go on a guess wrong, either an end run or off tackle. I couldn't quite remember what it was, but DeMarco Murray, he rolled a snake eyes. And the card animation showed, let's see, here comes an inside run for Le'Veon Bell. Defense guesses pass. That'll move the ball to the 30. It's now 4th and 5, ball at the 30. Here's a field goal attempt to take the lead, and he puts it through. So the Chargers have gone back out on top here, 19-17. That is the 4th field goal for the Chargers.
We got a good one now, Michael.
Yes, we do. Of course, we'll go get locked out. So hopefully by the time we get in, the Rams haven't scored another touchdown.
With all these glitches, Michael, it's like you're announcing the Fog Bowl.
Yeah, but very much so. So while we're getting ready for this, I'll finish my little story here. Basically, it appeared that DeMarco Murray had raced 75 yards for what appeared to be certainly not the game-winning score, but it would have put them in field goal range with the chance to win. I have lost the login numbers. Anybody have it out there? There we go. 13702.
I've heard you tell the story a couple of times, and you do it so well every time, Michael.
Well,
it was that little nuance where you were tactfully trying not to tell everybody what
what I had seen and what everybody else had seen, because I've seen on the and I did finally mention it actually in on the forum, and come to find out Mark, who I would have thought would have been, wow, this is a super freeze. I would have thought that Mark would have gone just absolutely bananas. He said on his side of the card, actually, that he saw only a 6-yard run. So I guess the animation was reflected differently for spectators as opposed to those who are actually playing the game. But I'm sure when he saw that broadcast, I'm sure he got tickled.
But the sportsmanship in this, and that's a testimony to how Larry Davis constructs this league. So not surprising to me that everybody has got that same sort of decorum.
Yeah, it's a quality league, and he's got quality people here. It's a privilege to play in a league like this. I'm wondering if this was a major freeze now, because I am not able to get in at all.
Make pretend like something's happening.
I'm trying to log in, but it appears there is a major freeze. Period. Do you have a new game ID?
Michael, can you hear me? This is Neil Shannon.
Hi, Neil. How are you?
Hey, good. I just went back to the email and 13702 is the game code, or it was, and I think you might have typed in 13072. So you might want to try 13702. Just give that a shot, see if it works.
Yeah, I just did here.
Shoot. I just thought that might help you.
I appreciate it. No, and I've done that like a complete moron. I have actually done that on more than a few occasions, but this one here it did not. I've sent a message to Paul.
Okay.
Hi, Neil.
Hey, is that Dave? Hi, Dave.
We are stuck, Paul. Is there a new ID? Question mark.
Are you back from Guam, Dave?
No, I'm still in Guam.
Oh, okay. Well, you going to be able to play your next game or not?
I probably won't because I'm going to be here another 3 weeks at least.
Okay. Well, you've had a great season, that's for sure.
Well, I got a great substitute coach in the legendary Rick Byron's.
Yeah, I know, Rick. Sure.
The game is stuck. Can you please send another ID?
Did you meet Rick last year?
No, well, no, not last year because I've been a couple years out of the league, and I was fortunate enough just to get back in this year after a 2-year absence.
There are a bunch of people watching this broadcast.
We missed you, Neil.
Hey, thanks, Dave.
One of the two had a computer crash, so that's kind of what we're waiting on.
Okay.
Paul got back with me here just a second ago. Man, you got to be dedicated to this game to put up with all this bugginess. I'm just telling you. Madden doesn't have nearly this many problems, guys, but it just doesn't play real football. I would rather them say, you know what, this year we're not going to make improvements to this, or this. How about just a handful of words? We will fix the servers. That would be nice.
Yeah, that's important. And I think adding the game code improved things to some degree. I don't know why we're having this problem today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, the spectator bug, well, big deal. It's just a bunch of us watching a game. Who cares, right? It's really about the two competitors. But this seems to be happening in these games as well, where the game just, for no reason, crashes. And again, some of it could have to do with the computer. Some have to do with the internet, blah, blah, blah. But but there's just too many of these things happen to ignore. I really wish they would focus a little more on this.
Yeah, me too.
You guys are real idealists.
Are we though? Yeah, which one of us has Hal on speed dial?
I've met Hal personally.
Dave, I'm on Facebook. You've met a lot of famous people, and that's pretty impressive. And I didn't realize you were so tall. How tall are you again?
I'm a very lucky man, Neil.
He asked how tall you are.
What are you, about 6'6"? How tall are you, Dave?
I'm exactly.
I think he said 6'6".
Okay.
Yeah, before 7 knees.
Okay. Well, you and I both like basketball too. I used to play a little bit when I was younger.
My life was basketball in the early years.
Same with mine. Yeah, she played when the women could only go. They only played they only had rovers, and half the girls couldn't go past half court.
Exactly. Yeah. I was a little before my time. I was a 3-point shooter, but they only gave me 2 points for those 25-footers.
Yeah, that makes a difference. I wonder how many points Pete Maravich would have had if they had 3-pointers in his day.
If anybody's out on this broadcast, 34121 was the code. So we are back into it here, all at midfield. 12 minutes to play. Chargers with it, up 19-17. That's a 2-yard run for Le'Veon Bell. It's now 2nd down and 8. And the Chargers have made their way into Rams territory. Chargers trailed early, 10-0. Reeled off 16 straight points. Ram answered on a fumble recovery touchdown, but the Chargers came right back and have retaken the lead. And there is a pickup of 6 on the play or 5? 5 on the play. It's now 3rd and 2. Le'Veon Bell, 112 yards now on 21 carries. Plenty of carries left, 9 before he hits a fatigue level. This would be a nice stop for St. Louis here. 3rd down and 3. Here is an inside run. Defense guesses pass. Pickup of 5 on the play for Bell. Move the chains. 1st and 10. Ball at the 38. So Paul Mankiewicz looking to build on this 19-17 lead. The winner will take on Nathan Baylor. They'll host the game. Either one of these two clubs will host against Nathan Baylor, who defeated the Seattle Seahawks, 2-time defending champions. And in the AFC, we have Dallas visiting Philadelphia next weekend. Here's a deep shot from Walker. We all do, Dave, but Rick Byrons will be more than happy to take over what was one of the most dominating clubs of all the 30 this season. Although you and I had a fun game early on in the year.
Wow, you were a tough game, Michael.
That was fun.
Boy, that was a fun game.
I coached the Los Angeles Rams this year. I am all too happy to say goodbye to quarterback Bryce Petty, who set quarterbacking back about 20 years. And we will be welcoming Patrick Mahomes. So a new dawn, a new day, if you will, for Los Angeles Rams. But who cares about teams that aren't in the playoffs? We're talking about the Los Angeles Chargers. They have the ball, 3rd and 10, ball at the 38 here of St. Louis. St. Louis has another opportunity to chase them off the field. They're a little deep here as far as field goal range is concerned. I don't know how solid their kicker is from deep, but he has hit 4 today.
Hey, what's up, Michael?
Dennis, hey, buddy. How you doing?
Good. I watched a little bit of your, hey, guys. I watched a little bit of your broadcast earlier. This is a fun back-and-forth game. I know it's frustrating when the animation doesn't show the play, but it doesn't take away from the excitement of recovering a fumble and returning it for a touchdown. The crowd must have been going crazy.
Well, there was a rumor supposedly that there was a fumble recovery for a touchdown because we didn't see it, unfortunately. But wow, that's a nice coffin corner kick, and that'll put the ball 1st and 10 for the Rams at their own 4 with 9 minutes to go. Dennis, that's Dave Szymanski on here.
Yeah, I see Dave. There's Ed. Ed's in the room. Nathan's in the room. We got a nice crowd here. Larry's here.
Neil's on here too. Yeah.
Hi, Dennis. This is Neil.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Real nice crowd.
The fumble recovery is showing in the box score now. It was an 86-yard return by Lorenzo Neal. Is that the old fullback? Or no, who is that? El Neal.
What in the world is that?
Let me see. Yep. Keanu Neal, the free safety.
Oh, okay.
Lorenzo Neal is the old fullback from the Chargers, maybe. I don't remember, but it's Keanu Neal.
Lorenzo Alexander.
I interviewed Neal once, so I know Lorenzo Neal.
Yeah. Those names stick in my head sometimes. So this is do or die time here for the Rams as they move the ball past the 18. Mm-hmm. Paul's been doing a good job calling him correctly, and those sacks have been huge.
Yes, huge. 5 of them in all, including a sack fumble that basically took 3 points off the board, certainly for St. Louis.
Right. Even the matchup against, we expect heat coming from Everson Griffin, but even the matchup coming from Jerry Hughes against the 2 is big.
Oh, and an interception deep in his own territory on a pass intended for Nick O'Leary, and the Chargers will take over at the Rams 19.
Imperative here that the Rams keep him to a field goal.
Absolutely. So that was Roethlisberger's first pick of the day. He's also had a sack fumble.
The Chargers are excellent against the run, good against the pass. So that you see that good pass, even though they nerfed the interception splits, it's still 2 through 5 with one man in zone.
Mm-hmm. So it is imperative now that the Rams hold the Chargers to no more than a field goal, as we have 7:30. We're halfway through this fourth quarter. The winner will take on Nathan Baylor. They'll host the game against the Houston Texans. Here is a run for Le'Veon Bell. He's keyed on the play. He still winds up plugging through the line and kicks up 9 on the play. Or 8, excuse me.
Yeah, he keyed him for an off-tackle right, and Paul ran left. So nice job by Paul.
That's right. Okay. So 2nd down and 2 with the ball at the 11.
Run call, 3-minute zone. That's a touchdown.
That is a touchdown. Keenan Allen with a huge game today. He's caught 4 bombs, 146 yards, and his first touchdown. Chargers are up by 8. This is a big extra point. And he puts it through.
Coach Gary and Paul have been playing for decades, and I'm sure they each know each other's tendencies. Gary was expecting a run there, and Paul went past.
That's right.
I love these no disconnect kickoffs. This is great.
Yeah. It's been pretty inconsistent. It's some of them. It seems like it's 9 yards that seems to do it. If it's 9 yards deep, it seems to get the bug, because we've had some others that have, like, touchback doesn't seem to stop it. Goal line doesn't stop it. And we had an 8-yard one that was deep. It didn't stop it either. So I don't know. Of course, he had a major crash here just a moment ago.
Sure. It also might be going to the number 2 returner as opposed to the number 1 returner, because most of the -9s are to the number 1 returner. We'll figure it out. We'll let Strat know what it is. We can deduce it.
I'm sure it'll be fixed next year.
Oh, they'll jump right on it.
Won't they, though? And then every punt that goes over 50 yards will be Isn't
that a pleasant fiction? 2nd and 7, 5:42 to go. Gary needs one of those huge runs by Ingram or some love in the passing game.
Yeah, he had one early. Did you see a 51-yard pickup in the 3rd?
Nice. It's been a story of, I think, Gary getting those plays, the big plays, and then not getting any points out of it. Paul's defense turnover. So that's he really shifted it around. Otherwise, it's been pretty even.
Yeah, that was big. And then there's another one that they drove inside the 5 but had to settle for 3. So
only picks up 2 on that one. 3rd and 5, containment in effect. 26-17 Chargers were in the last of the semifinal, or the last of the quarterfinal games.
Right.
And whoever wins this is be part of the Final Four.
Mm-hmm. And some big name coaches among all the 4. No strangers. No strangers to the Final Four.
Gary goes 3 wide. Sideline right to Garcon. Oh, he gets 3. 4 down territory. Got to go for it.
So 4th and 2. Mankiewicz and his Chargers can wrap this up early with a stop right here.
So you had the one drive that ended with a sack fumble, and then another one that would have been a touchdown if Ricard would have had a longer gain, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. Great call, Dennis. You're right. He had a short gain on a flat pass, but I think his longest gain was only 5 or 6 for the year.
Yeah, 6-yard short gain. That was something else.
So I formation here for St. Louis, 3-3-5 set for the Chargers. What do you think, Dave?
Well, I hope he gambles on this and throws a short one.
Stuffed the
And he
defense.
stopped
It
on the
wasn't
defensive
necessarily-
card. Gosh.
Yeah, the run blocking for Gary's a little weak, even with Ingram. He really wanted to go on his cards because he had a guess wrong run, but it went on the D cards. The guard couldn't make the play,
Yep.
and it's now Chargers ball. Now there's still time for Gary to come back. He has to get a stop here. Even if he holds him to a field goal, you can get a touchdown, onside kick, and another touchdown.
Right.
But if he gets a touchdown here, if Paul gets a touchdown here, it's over.
Yeah.
Or if he just picks up a couple first downs and keeps
I think he needs a couple first downs and this thing is over. You're right. Okay, so there's an off-tackle run for Le'Veon Bell. He's already off to a good start. 7 yards on the play, 132 yards for the game for Le'Veon.
And again, Gary had a guy in the zone strong side, but Paul runs weak side, knowing that that's probably going to be the case.
Mm-hmm.
24 runs for 132 yards. And I think we've all agreed that despite Le'Veon Bell maybe being one of the best backs in the NFL or being the best back in the NFL, his Stratomatic cards haven't been that great, but Paul's using him well today.
Mm-hmm. There's a pitch out to Bell, and he picks up one of those first downs we were talking about. And so we are now at the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, it's disheartening when you're trying to get a stop there and the guy just picks up a first down. It's like, oh, God.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen today. But you got to stay positive. That
Yes, you do.
Big 10-point fourth quarter for the Chargers. After giving up that fumble return for a touchdown, they didn't let that stop them. They drove right back down, got a field goal and another touchdown. And looking good for the Chargers.
Yeah, they've answered back big from that phantom fumble recovery.
Now see how Gary adjusts. Knowing that Paul's been running weak side, he keys him weak side, gets the stuff for -1, and that'll be 2nd and 11.
11, yes.
2:24 to go. 2 plays before the 2-minute warnings if he uses his timeout, 1 play if he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming he runs. I don't think you'll see Paul throw here. Rivers, his only downfall is a little bit higher interception split. Actually, no. It's actually not. That was last year's card. This year's card's fine. If he wants to throw it here, he could probably get away with it and pick up a first down. But that's getting cheeky when you have the game in hand with 2 scores right now.
Correct. Yeah, I think he's going to play it by the book. Here's a run key. He didn't key the right spot, but it didn't matter. It was on Bell's card. No gain.
Take a quick look at Paul's field goal kicker. So he does use the timeout before the 2-minute warning. He is 2 through 8 from 23 to 32. So if he can keep them away from the 22-yard line, he has a decent chance of missing it. And then you get the ball back with 152 or 145, and you have 1 timeout, and you're only down 9.
Right.
So this is where you might see Paul throw it, knowing that if he completes the pass, he's virtually ended the game.
Mm-hmm.
Decisions. This is what makes Stratomatic fun, this cat and mouse. He thinks he's going to throw it. He double teams Bell. It's a run. Nose tackle +4, +9. He makes the stop, Steve McClendon. So he's in that range. The variable could help him get into the 2 through 10 range. Let's see what happens here.
Looking for his 5th and did a 5th field goal of the game. Wow.
So 12-point game now, 152 to go, assuming it's a touchback here. Again, you need touchdown, 2-point conversion, touchdown.
So is it – he does decide to take it out. I didn't know if it was a freeze again. Anyway, ball is now at the 30. So a minute 45, again, a tall order. St. Louis does have 2 timeouts. They need 2 touchdowns. So they need a score, a successful onside kick, and another score.
Paul goes 3-2-6 here. The run's still in play with 2 timeouts and Ingram's huge chunk cards. You get one of those chunks, you're in field goal range right away. Yeah. You can really put the pressure on by getting close to scoring range quickly.
He has a long gain 4. Is it off tackle, I think?
Yeah, off tackle. You're risking your timeouts.
There's a pass that falls to the turf. Incomplete. Roethlisberger, 14 of 23. 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
The danger here is if you run out of the 3 white sets, that white die won. So
Yeah, right. And there's another. Wow, incomplete. So it's 3rd and 10. Ball at the 30-yard line. A minute 30 to go. Chargers looking really good here for their appearance in the Final Four. St. Louis, a tall order. 2 scores needed with a minute 30.
So Nathan, how many times have you played Paul in a playoff game?
In a playoff?
Yeah.
Geez, I don't know.
Obviously, you played him, all the time in the regular season. But I'm just wondering if you guys have any memorable playoff matchups, because it looks like you're heading to another one here.
I know that I was 1 game from the Somifa championship, and he beat me like maybe 3-4 years ago. That was a big one.
Cool. Well, that's kind of like what you got here. You got 1 game away from the Super Bowl, so it'll be fun. I'm certainly looking forward to watching the two semifinal matchups. Both of those are going to be excellent games. He keeps going for the screens, gets a 10-yard one there, converts the 4th down. The real enemy right now for Gary is the clock. 1:15 to go. You got 51 yards to go to get your first touchdown. You need to score quickly.
So Nathan did actually play the Chargers this year.
Yeah, in the regular season.
Yeah, 134 to 20. Played him at home. And there's the 6th sack of the game. That's going to put another dent in
Turn
his
out
comeback.
the lights.
Yeah, it's getting there.
That's the dagger right there.
Yeah.
Not that there was really very little chance to begin with, but Cameron Wake against Gerald Hawkins. It's a mismatch.
6 of them now for the Chargers.
There's very few players in the NFL that I'm not really familiar with. I will say Gerald Hawkins, offensive tackle. I don't know who he plays for. I've never said that name before today. He's a Pittsburgh backup.
And you may never again.
Exactly. So watch him next year be a 4-4 or something crazy like that. I don't think he's going to play this year in the NFL. Desperate times in St. Louis. We were gonna we almost had the battle of the St. Louis Rams against one of the biggest Rams fans that I know in Nathan. 4th and 13. 1 more play here, and then Gary will be put out of his misery. I feel bad. I mean, Gary's had a strong team, and with that Roethlisberger card along with Mark Ingram, that's a dynamic offense. You need that kind of guess wrong running to move the chains in this rule set. And he's done well this year. I think he had, what did you look at his regular season stats? He had to be close to 2,000 yards.
No, I did not. Actually, I was kind of looking at something I thought was pretty interesting here. When it comes to team sacks, the Chargers this year had 36. They were 5th in the league, and they're going to be button heads with Houston, who was 3rd in the league with 40. In fact, of the 6 teams that are left, the top 3 here, basically, there's Dallas. They have the 6th most sacks. So all these teams, basically, they were at the top. Seattle, Grand Rapids, Houston, Michigan, Chargers, Dallas, all playoff teams, all in the top 6 in sacks. So quite the impact. And that is your ball game.
Yeah, Ingram ran for 1,954 yards in the regular season. So great year for him, and that really fed the Rams offense. The Chargers, of course, were led by Phillip Rivers and Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell ran for over 1,800 yards. So that's two big weapons that Nathan's going to have to deal with. Nathan, of course, is well prepared for that. The strength of his team is the passing defense. So it'll be a good battle between Rivers and that secondary.
Just going to skip through the box score here. If anybody wants to take a look at it and freeze it whenever you get on YouTube.
Yep, looks good. And Gary and Paul congratulating each other on good seasons and a victory here today for Paul. Well, I'm going to jump off. Michael, thank you for broadcasting the game.
Thanks, Dennis.
It's a great league. I really enjoy it. I'm sad not to be a part of the playoffs, but I'm happy for the guys that advanced. And we're going to have a new champion this year.
Sure.
That should be a fun Final Four. So
Yes, sir.
again, the Final Four teams, you got Mark Lepage and his Dallas Cowboys. You got Nathan Baylor and his Houston Texans. The Los Angeles Chargers led by Paul Mankiewicz. And who is the fourth one? That is
The Philadelphia Eagles.
oh
God,
yeah,
I don't know who is that.
one guy named
I don't know
Dave.
who that fourth one is. Who the hell is that fourth one?
He had to leave the country to make sure that he was pulling the strings remotely, like Dr. Evil or something like that.
He's actually scouting for next year, if you can believe that.
So really, if you think about it, the 3 of the 4 teams played in that face-to-face league before this went online. So that's kind of cool.
Very.
All right, guys.
This has to be one of the longest running leagues around.
Yep.
Hey, Dennis, I want to thank you and Michael and Tom for announcing these games. This makes the league so enriching on top of everything else, and it really adds a dimension. And here I am halfway around the world talking to you guys, watching the games. It's 4 o'clock in the morning here, but it's fascinating to be able to enjoy the game like this. It just gives us another dimension. I thank you guys so much.
Oh, thank you. I enjoy it. It's how I learn, is watching all these playoff games. You get better as a result.
Hey, you're so modest too, Michael. I'm really impressed by that. You appreciate the history of this league because, yeah, it goes back this game today. These guys first played each other on table game in 1978, and I was there.
Wow. Yeah. That's just, I was 8. I was 8 years old when all this was happening. I wasn't. Yeah. That's remarkable. I'm honored to be in this league.
Jim Riley started this league, and I think it was 1970.
Oh God. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that is crazy. To have roots that far back, this has to be the longest running league around for football. I'm sure there's some baseball dinosaur leagues like that, but that's outstanding for to have such longevity in this league and such good quality coaches and nice people. On top of that, it's a pleasure playing in this league. It's really well run top to bottom.
And I played my first Stratomatic game in 1965.
Oh, man. That's crazy. All the different changes that you've seen in this game over time. That's amazing. It is amazing.
You bet.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm honored to be in it. I'm thankful to Tom that he was doing all these broadcasts, and he and Dennis and have worked to help me become a better player. And the only way you do that is by watching these sort of broadcasts, and you get a chance to see the best coaches play, especially in playoff games. And that's how you learn. That's how you grow in this game. And it's a great hobby. And again, if you're picking off this broadcast for the first time, you don't know much about what we're talking about. This is Stratomatic Football. It's a company out of Glen Head, New York. They're mostly known for their baseball game, but their football game, a lot of us agree, strategy-wise, is a lot of fun. There's a lot of variables that you can play into the game. Not much you can do in baseball, basically. So much of it is based on dice rolls. There's not much that you can have as far as strategy, not nearly as deep as what we think the football game is, and it's been an enjoyable experience. If you want to jump into a league, go to the Stratomatic.com website. They have a section there where they have leagues all over the country in all the different sports. It's a lot of fun, and you'll meet a lot of good friends along the way. It's a great hobby. And again, this Autumn Wind League it's an honor to play in it. It's been a very enjoyable experience, especially meeting a lot of great coaches, Dave included. He's joined me on a number of these broadcasts. And we just have a lot of fun. So by all means, get hooked up with it. You'll enjoy it. I promise you will. Dave, anything else before we go?
Nope. Just thank you again. Really, really enjoy these broadcasts, and you guys have some fun without me.
All right, but you will be in on the next one, I'm sure. And again, good luck to you as you are headed to the Final Four. You'll be taking on Mark Lepage and the Dallas Cowboys, and by proxy, your coach will be Rick Byron's, one of the best around. And the opposite game in the NFC, that will be the Los Angeles Chargers, coached by Paul Mankiewicz, longtime player, and he will be facing off against Nathan Baylor with the Houston Texans. So this is your final score, the Los Angeles.
One final thing, Michael. One final thing.
Sure.
That Nathan's father, Trent, was in the league. I played many games with him, and his uncle, Dean Baylor, was also a member of the league. So
wow,
there's a lot of roots that Nathan has in this league.
My goodness gracious. Yeah. Like I said, there's just so much history to this. I was just very lucky, I think, to get picked off to play in this. I've only been in it for 3 seasons, but Of all the leagues I play in which there's 5, basically, this is the one that I had the most fun with. It's a joy to play, and I've met so many good coaches along the way. It's really been an honor to play. And I look forward to welcoming Patrick Mahomes to this team next year, so maybe we can make a little noise.
That'll be fun.
It will be fun. It will be fun. Listen, you take care of yourself, and hopefully you'll be able to join us next week, okay?
I'll give it a shot.
All right. Take care, Dave. And everybody else who joined on the broadcast, thank you so much. We really enjoyed it. So this is your final score. Los Angeles Chargers 29, the St. Louis Rams 17. Congratulations to both coaches, Paul Mankiewicz and Gary Nagata, for fine seasons. Mankiewicz is moving on, and next week we'll take on Nathan Baylor and the Houston Texans. And we'll also see in the Final Four the Dallas Cowboys, coached by Mark LePage, against Rick Byrons, who will coach the Philadelphia Eagles 14-2. So this is Michael Reeves signing off. Appreciate you listening. Hope you enjoy the broadcast. I wish you a good, happy Sunday, everybody. Good luck and God bless.